we had a student decide to test out some pepper spray at youth group one night. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Youth Group Chronicles. In the studio with us today, Mindy Spencer and Pastor Cole Clark.
What is good?
Both repping jerseys tonight.
I know.
We are.
I love it. I especially love Cole's.
You love the most winning sports team in all history?
In all of history.
Yep.
Aaron Judge, 99. Yankee fans in the house. Anybody else representing upstate New York? Let us know in the comments. We're on Instagram Live for those listening to this. If this is your first time listening to the show, welcome. You're in for it. This is where people in youth ministry, not even necessarily in youth ministry, but people that have maybe volunteered, maybe they worked for a church, maybe they went to youth group as a kid, and they have a funny or wild or crazy story that they send in. We read them here on the show, and my guests blind react to them. They've never heard these stories before. Never so before. To kick this off, this is an anonymous story. They said, we had a student decide to test out some pepper spray at youth group one night.
Perfect.
During the evening, he had to take a number 2. But while he was in the bathroom, he remembered that he was holding onto his friend's car keys. He pulled the keys out of his pocket and realized it had a small can of pepper spray attached to the key loop. He wondered what it would feel like to be sprayed. So while he was in the bathroom, he sprayed a little amount onto his hand. But what he didn't realize is the pepper spray had a seal on it that was broken and would release the entire canister of pepper spray if pressed. So as the pepper spray began to spray nonstop onto his hand, he started freaking out.
Yeah.
He placed the pepper spray into his pants pocket, not knowing it was going to continue spraying. His hands started to burn profusely, and he soon realized that the toilet paper wasn't helping wipe off this oily spray from his hands. Unable to get off the toilet because he hadn't finished using the bathroom, absolute panic set in. With pepper spray burning his hand, he began to wipe hastily.
Fiery butt.
So that he could leave the stall and wash his hands.
Wow.
He soon realized that the pepper spray had gone through the toilet paper onto his butt.
Wow.
He pulled his pants up and then ran to the sink trying to wash it off. But unfortunately, this only intensified it. He looked down to realize his worst fear.
No.
On top of all of this, the pepper spray had continued to spray through his pants pocket and was now covering his crotch with pepper spray.
Not the balls, man.
Some fire crotch.
Bernie balls.
Later that night, after he was home, I called his parents to see how he was doing. And I could literally hear the student in the background of the phone call yelling in the shower still.
Oh my gosh.
Brutal.
Moral of the story. Don't get up and use the bathroom during youth group.
Moral of the story, just don't ever come back.
Yeah.
It's another one. Just don't come back.
I didn't know that. I mean, maybe it was just this one, or maybe it was a malfunction. I don't know. That once you pop it, it starts going. Because I have one, and I sprayed it in like our yard one time, and it did a stream, and then it never, it switches off. So I haven't heard of that. Yeah. But now I know not to play with it. Not that I was going to, but
just make sure you don't look at it. You know, it's like
I would hope people know
not
to look at it.
Based on these stories.
Yeah, you would think people would know not to wipe their butt when they have freaking pepper spray on their hands.
Pepper spray all over my hands.
Let me wipe.
Gotta hurry up and wipe. Well, he is screwed if you think about it. Like, what is he gonna do?
It's true.
Waddle out?
You just wait until it stops burning a hole in your hand?
You just pull up the pants and
No, I'll be honest with you. I think I might rather wipe my butt than walk around with poopy butt. Like, I honestly I feel like to avoid streaks in my underwear, I might have wiped too.
Again, either way, either scenario, just don't come back.
Yeah.
Just
nothing's working.
Because everyone knows.
Yeah.
You're screaming in the bathroom.
Just never come back.
He said it was in a stall too. So public bathroom. Imagine there's someone like next to him, like wondering what's going on.
There's no way it's going to play out. I mean, like if he gets up without wiping, he soils his pants. If he walks to the sink to wash off before wiping, someone walks in, pants on the ground.
In the moment, I can see...
Or he has a burning butt.
In the moment, I can see that he's like, okay, I have toilet paper covering my hand.
Right.
But apparently it soaked through, obviously.
Yeah.
In the moment, I probably would have wiped. Actually, if I had known it was going to soak through, I would be pulling my pants right there. I do not care. I'm not getting pepper spray on
He
my
said,
butt.
I
You
picked
heard it
poopy
here,
pants.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. I am throwing it out there.
Sierra
I know.
she's a good launderer. She takes care of all Sam's stains. They've decided to only buy him black underwear.
From now on.
Black and brown underwear only. If you can't see it, did it really happen?
Taco Bell Simulator. That is facts.
Crazy.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, imagine if there was someone right next to
What
the
do
stall.
laxatives
That is
feel
true.
like?
Mm.
I'm just imagining what sounds are you hearing from the stall right next to you. That's what I want to know.
Terrible.
This is from Cody. Cody said, for a Fear Factor night at Youth Group, one of the challenges involved putting a dog cone on someone and then pouring 100 crickets onto their face to see how long they could last.
Wow.
One of our youth leaders decided to go first, and he stayed pretty still for about a minute with all these crickets hopping on his face. Unfortunately, though, one found its way into his ear canal and burrowed deep. It took us literally 20 minutes of digging in his ear to get this cricket out.
No.
That's almost an ER trip, actually. That is.
Can you imagine how that felt?
All I'm thinking
it's in there
just
moving.
in your head.
It's
these
in there
people
moving.
are putting more effort
They're putting
into
too
their
much-
games
I don't know.
than some pastors are putting into their sermons.
True.
We put in quite a bit of effort.
Yeah, but a dog cone.
I mean, we would have done that.
This-
I can't even say like
this
It
what
would
he's
be a
thinking,
funny thing to
because
see.
I think of some games that we played.
I would
and
be
kids do,
terrified.
and
I
it
would not.
was-
I can't do.
This would be like an
Bugs.
early 2000s game, though.
Probably.
No,
Or
yeah.
or
Yeah.
90s.
No, we used to go insane.
Especially like the Fear Factor stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Is that still a show?
No?
No. Okay, so that's
Joe
probably why
Rogan.
it kind of.
Yeah.
Back in Joe Rogan's infancy.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the host.
He was.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would not be doing it. I don't know why a youth leader volunteered for the game. Not me. Not for me.
I just never did. We always. Had
I
the
feel like
kids
you got to
do
be
everything.
smart enough to know you're not supposed to
It's
volunteer
like
for a
I'm
game.
not
at Youth Group.
eating that. I'm
Yeah.
not doing that.
I don't get
I'm
the
not
kids that are
drinking
excited
that.
about it. Like, yeah, put me up there.
I remember that we had kids eat worms.
Okay, I've done
No,
that.
we've.
I would
yeah.
do that.
Sam, you've eaten worms?
I ate one, and it wasn't bad. I didn't chew it. You just swallow it, and it was not bad.
We had a girl who won every single game.
I'm serious. It really was not bad. And of all the things, I feel like that would be one of the least concerning is swallowing
I'd
a
rather
worm. Out of
spray
all the
my
things
Yeah,
we've heard on the
crotch
show,
with pepper spray.
Then
you'd rather get pepper sprayed than swallow a worm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Really? You too? Oh, no.
She said no.
Have you been pepper sprayed, Joe? Okay. They've
They
both been
can
pepper sprayed.
relate
They
to
know.
the first story.
Well, I haven't experienced it yet, so I'd rather be knee deep. You know what I mean? Waist deep.
This is a story from David. David said, for our youth group lock-in, I got stick darts, which is a game that
Those
our
are
students
sick.
can play with at night.
Mm-hmm.
Except it didn't take long for the students to begin playing with the suction cup darts in other ways that weren't intended for the game.
Naturally,
At some
of course.
point during the night, all our middle school girls learned that the darts would stick to their foreheads.
Mm.
Unfortunately, though, I realized it was too late and that all the middle school girls literally had hickeys all over their face where the stick darts had been.
Mm.
There was one girl in particular that literally had 5 to 6 hickeys covering her forehead the next morning.
That's awkward.
What are you going to do?
To the pure all things.
Where were you?
appear.
True?
What was it say?
Actually, you know what? I don't know if I've ever told this story on the show, but when I was a kid, have you ever seen those? I don't know how to describe them, but they're like a tube, and they're probably 4-6 long,
And
or
you,
4 to
It's like
probably
a
4
blow
feet long.
dart.
No, and you spin it around, and it makes like a humming noise.
Oh yeah.
Well, I took one of those and I stuck it to my forehead, and then sucked on the other end, and like it
Pause.
would stick there. Yes. And then I'm like, oh, I was a kid, guys. I was like 10. And then I pulled the thing off, and I legit had a dark purple circle, like full circle right in the middle of my forehead for like 3 days because it immediately broke all the blood vessels. So I was wearing like a hat because I had to go to youth group.
Not
I had
the
to go
hat
to
like
Bible
this?
study.
Oh
Yeah, it was
no.
literally down to my eyes.
Down
Like I
here,
would not
it was
let
like
anyone.
you.
So I
Was it
relate.
flat brimmed?
You know there's a kid in youth group like this. What happened? Nothing, bro.
Let me see your forehead.
That
Jimmy,
was
show
me.
your eyebrows. No, man.
I was so embarrassed.
Or the kids who got their ears like tucked in their hat.
Oh, that. And
I've never seen that.
You haven't?
No, because
they're
The other
too
day I
big
saw
and
someone
it's
doing
like
it.
tucked up in there.
They'll tuck. I can't even do it.
Your hat doesn't go down far enough
No, you gotta have.
because of the flow.
a
Is it
bigger
because
hat.
they think their ears are
I
sticking
guess
out? Is that they're
so.
self-conscious
I don't
of it?
know what
Yeah.
they think.
I've
but
never
they
heard of
tuck
that.
them in.
Maybe it's. You know,
It's
actually,
awkward.
in some countries, it's called cauliflower ears. If you're a
Yeah.
wrestler or rugby
Yeah.
player, it is literally like a trophy if your ears are swollen.
Right.
It means
Yeah.
you're good at the sport.
You're a good fighter.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Like
you
that's
saw
like
anyone around
medal
walking around
is to have them. Yeah,
with cauliflower ear. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
isn't,
messing
yeah.
with that guy.
Just shoot.
that is true. Very
We're
true.
not fighting. We're shooting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring something heavier.
This is from Josh. Josh said, on a youth group trip, I was getting ready to address all the students when one kid, who somehow could always find a way to derail a lesson, raised his hand.
I know a few of them.
I asked if he was about to vomit or die, to which he said no. So I told him that it could wait. 15 minutes later, I was wrapping up, and this kid's hand was still up in the air. So before I prayed and dismissed everyone, I finally asked him what he needed. Clear and loud in front of the entire youth group, he said, "Your fly is down."
Dang. Dang.
Got him.
Don't ask questions. I've learned to just
Yep.
not address those moments because it never turns out good for whoever's speaking.
Never.
Or
Wait,
like that
addressing
one
the kid, or
yeah, never
Yeah.
address. it.
there's always that.
Always.
Every
There is.
youth group, there's that
Mhm.
kid that's going to raise their hand, ask, I don't want to say the dumbest question, but a question that has nothing to do with
Yep.
the lesson, isn't necessarily spiritual at all. It's just something so random.
Something stupid.
Yeah, every youth group. So I feel like
Or
people know that one.
purposely inappropriate.
Or absolutely.
Like 70 kids in a room. Like,
What? And it's
just
the same kid
keep-
every time, and you
What
know
does
it's
this
coming.
mean?
just keep preaching,
Yeah.
man. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah, the kid was trying to be nice. The one time.
The one time.
The one time he was trying to help him out. This is from Christopher. At a youth conference, the home we stayed at had a hot tub. It was about 30 degrees outside, but when we got into the hot tub, there was a cloud of chemicals rising off the water. The homeowner, who was a good friend of ours, swore it was just baking soda in there. However, the chemicals were so strong that no one could see, and we were sitting in a cloud of gas the entire time we were in the tub. It wasn't until years later that we found out that one of his kids had literally pooped in the hot tub, but didn't want to tell anyone. So hours earlier, they dumped as many chemicals into the water as they could to shock it and never told anyone.
No.
Dang.
Guys,
Dang.
my husband had a similar experience.
Did he do that?
No.
Well,
I
it was
know
a
what
baptism Sunday.
I know what she's going to say.
Oh,
Never-
no.
never-
That guy,
never,
right?
Never before release. The news is coming out
Well,
tonight.
Okay,
Sorry,
are
babe,
we
love
thinking of
you.
the same story where
Yeah.
the man got
Little dookie.
Baptism tank.
at our church on a Sunday morning?
And he was
Yep.
not normal.
He was
you
not
know.
all there.
Yeah. He was not all there.
Something
and-
was there.
And he got in
He-
that tank.
He
And he left a little something in that tank.
He left
Left a
more
deuce
than the
deuce.
dead man in the tank.
And my husband's face
He
when he
did.
looked down and saw it.
I feel like there's pictures of this too, actually.
Yes.
Wait, weren't you taking pictures that day, Sierra?
I don't know. There's somewhere.
No, because someone took pictures of it happening too.
There's somewhere. Yes.
So if people don't get what we're laying down, a guy pooped in our tank
yes.
as soon as he hit the water. I don't know if it was like
Got
a
him.
sensation thing or something.
I don't know.
A
but he
sensation.
just
I don't know
let
if he
one
doesn't do
out.
water normally, but immediately
Usually do water.
I just remember the panic of like the leadership and just like shut it down.
No,
shut
we
it down
did.
right now.
It was like get out immediately.
Get out of the water.
We're gonna
Dang.
postpone the rest of these baptisms.
We're
for
gonna pick
next
up
Sunday.
baptisms next week. What happened? Just felt led to
So
do it next
bad.
week.
Yeah, we're not. Put the curtain in front of it. No one
Dang,
look in.
man.
Yo, actually, going back to the hot tub story though, you can hurt from chemicals like that.
Yeah.
No.
So you mess it up, like you'll be burning. So we
Burn.
we got an Airbnb one time, and they must have messed up. I hope it wasn't because there was poop in the tub. Now actually thinking about it.
oh
Got 'em.
man.
Oh wow, thinking back,
Got 'em.
maybe that's why they shocked it
Somebody
and didn't
tried-
tell us.
yeah,
Okay,
And it actually
Overly
like
done.
Good
it
to
actually
know.
does do it more when there's like more contaminants in the water.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a hot
we
tub
were
and
sitting in a
it's
poop
steaming.
tub. That's disgusting.
No, like if you get in and it's like really strong on your skin. A lot of times in like hotels and stuff, it's because there's a lot of like dead skin and like extra stuff in
That
there, and it's the
sucks.
chemicals working on it.
Great, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, well anyway, we were at this Airbnb. Apparently, someone pooped in the tub right before we got in
'Cause
because
it
it
burned
was
ya?
burning. No, I felt like I had a sunburn. Didn't you? Did too, right? We
Oh.
got out. We told the people, we're like, "Hey, there's something wrong with your tub,"
Oh.
but it was the chemicals were
We're
off.
like, yeah, it's because someone crapped in it last week.
No, but it really hurts. So I'm surprised that wasn't the story that the kids were like burnt, like chemical burns.
Strong skin genetics.
Ugh.
Yes, he did almost
Reptile genetics.
hot tubs equal people soup. I could see that. A public hot tub, especially.
Mm.
This is from Drew. Drew said, "Our church has a crying infant room near the rear of our auditorium, and this room has a two-way mirror that you can only see into unless you're pressed up against the glass. One time, I found one of my students in that room cuddling and making out with his girlfriend just before service.
Wow.
The student didn't know that it was a two-way mirror, and so he kept doing his thing until I opened the door. I played dumb and asked what he was doing, and upon me asking this, he replied that the two of them were praying.
Oh, hey, hey.
He went on to say
Something.
that he and his girlfriend were having relationship issues and wanted
Let's pray
somewhere private
together.
to talk. I've been around this kid a lot at youth group, so I knew that was completely false. I continued to act like I didn't know what was really going on, and I grabbed a couple people from our prayer team and other staff members to join them in prayer. At this time,
Oh, God.
there were about half a dozen or so adults in the room praying for this couple. I ask him every once in a while now how they're doing just to keep the joke going because this kid is still not caught on. He's like texting earlier like, man, that was a close one.
He's pretty witty for that.
That was
We're in
quick.
here praying. We're
I've
praying.
heard I've heard the devotions one. I
We're
haven't
praying.
heard praying.
No, but that was like on the spot. What are y'all doing? Praying.
We're
Well, then he
praying.
worked up a
Praying in
whole
here.
story.
We're praying and things have been tough and yep.
What'd you say?
Yeah, we're using
Yes.
tongues.
Speaking
Our
in tongues
heavenly
and laying
language.
holy hands. Who commented that?
Oh, man.
This is an anonymous story. At youth camp, we had a game where there was a massive tarp laid out with a team of students on each end.
Mm.
In the middle was a carcass of a coyote that had been
Perfect.
festering for weeks in someone's
Why?
garage.
Mm.
The goal of the game was for both
Why?
teams to run to the middle and try to get the carcass to the opposing team's side of the
No.
tarp.
Wow.
That's disgusting.
No.
This led to maggots and juices being
Oh,
flung
are you
everywhere, and the smell was absolutely horrendous. Due to angry parent calls afterwards,
Yes.
this was the
Shocker.
first and last time we ever played that game.
Shocker.
I just want to meet some of these people.
Like,
Hey.
was that one person that came up with that, or was
Let's
that a
find
room
a
of people?
rotting carcass and play a game with it.
I feel like
at
it's got to be a
youth
health,
group.
like a health problem, right?
This was
like a
out
health
in
issue?
Alabama, in good old Alabama.
Louisiana.
And they have
What in
you
the
said
Alabama?
What
They
the
said what?
Alabama's happening?
I'm telling you, out in Alabama,
West Virginia.
there's 3 volunteers and one dude wears overalls. Volunteer
get 'em,
this
boy.
time. They're like, Jim, this week we need you to make the game. He's like, I've been waiting for this one.
I got me a
Someone
dead
asked who just
carcass.
has a dead coyote chilling in their
Oh.
garage.
I call
my
it catch
boy
'em
Billy.
coyote. How do you catch a coyote? It's not
Catching
alive
Wiley
now.
Coyote.
It's not alive now. Catch 'em coyote. I found it last week.
It could have been Florida, Ohio, yep,
Nah, I know what really happened.
West Virginia.
Dude,
Virginia.
dude was tasked with coming up with a game.
And he just made something up on the
Youth
spot.
pastor was like, it needs to hit. He was on his
He
way.
said, "Oh,
he was
this'll
on his
hit."
way to church. He forgot.
This'll hit.
Long week. Saw the dead coyote. Picked. Give him a memory.
Who cleared it? That's what I want to know. We need to talk to them.
That's
Nobody.
What I'm saying. Like,
Nobody cleared it.
oh,
No, but they're all just like,
we got a
I-
surprise game for you tonight. Not even the youth pastor knows. Like, no.
nasty.
Could've
The-
been
the
a good
maggots-
But the
Sunday
thing
game.
is, what? Also, these kids.
They were down.
Were
That's
they
how
blind?
you know this was somewhere where there's 15 people in the whole county.
Uh-huh.
Because these kids were like, sounds like a good Friday night to me. Come on now.
Someone said the
Catch 'em
anonymous
coyote.
stories are always the crazy ones.
Catch them coyote.
Probably
Right,
why
you
they're
have to be
anonymous.
anonymous because they're like, oh, dang.
Catch them coyote.
They'll get tracked down otherwise.
Rob. Start looking in all.
Until you get someone
Rural
messaging,
counties
I-
named
it was
Background
me. I
checks
was
for that
in
youth leader. Yep.
I was in that youth
Someone's
group.
going to. I played the game.
My parents were
Yeah,
the ones
guys,
who
you're
called.
right. Dead animals should not be allowed in any youth group game,
could be a good sermon
or any
example.
sermon illustration. What?
It could be a good sermon example though.
It could.
If you had like a dead
dead
pig
coyote,
and you were like filleting it with a whip to really bring home the point of Jesus' getting his back.
Someone's about to end up on Youth Group
telling
Chronicles.
you. It could be.
My youth pastor drug in a dead hog and whipped it on stage to show Jesus on the
Come
cross.
on now. Drive it home.
Maybe not a
Chunks
pig.
of pig flying.
Maybe not a pig.
Ew. Didn't you throw you
Pig
said
bodies.
you threw
Free
a
bacon.
watermelon that exploded on the floor one time?
Yeah, I was at the top of the stage and I didn't really rehearse it. And I was like, the watermelon represented somebody who got martyred. I shouldn't be laughing.
That's so bad.
But I'm thinking about the girl. I just put a little oomph into it because I didn't know how much energy it would take.
What were you trying to do?
Well, it was supposed to be, it was a mad serious moment too. Like, I'm talking like out of all the sermons that I preached, this one was just hitting on the emotional side. Like, we're talking about people dying,
Emotional
people being
side.
martyred for their faith, real life stories. So I needed a modern story because then we hear all the ones from like the Bible.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, like this happened last year. And they had like taken their family member to the top of the building and threw him off the building.
So you threw
And
a
so I
watermelon?
was like, I wanted to drive it home. So I had a watermelon.
Kenny Clark,
And
everybody.
then I was like, they probably didn't drop him. They pushed him. So I put a little oomph into it. And the watermelon just evaporated and hit the entire front row on the right-hand side. Just, and the girls were like, oh. And it just took the serious moment and just made
Turned
it
Yeah.
into like half of the room is crying. The other half is laughing. The girls are mortified. The
I
guys
have heard.
are like,
Honestly, I've heard
Mhm.
bits and pieces of that story. I've never heard the full context of why you were doing it.
because the dudes who weren't listening thought it was hilarious because they had no context. They just see me throw a
smashed
watermelon and they're like,
watermelon,
yo. But the girls were like, it was just hitting them.
Too much.
And now the girls are like wiping watermelon off of the
he just
brain.
kept it going. He's like, this is the,
The
brains.
brain matter off of their body.
Oh my gosh!
I should have drawn a smiley face
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
on it. It was a joy.
God.
Persecution is a joy. But
Oh
it's-
yeah, Brooklyn. There
Oh.
is no coming back. Well, actually, there is. Somehow he came back.
Somehow he's
No, that was
Somehow
like
he's the youth
no,
pastor
that
now.
was like a lit. That was like a lit altar call.
I can imagine.
Caitlin,
Yeah.
were you guys weren't here yet?
No,
no,
was a
that
couple
altar
years-
call was lit. That night was lit. Like we probably had like I think we had 10 or 15 kids answer the altar call. So like for the kids who were in it, it really hit them.
It was pretty
Watermelon
impactful.
worked.
The
Yeah.
front row kids really got the most
They were like,
impact.
yes.
Yeah, they did. And we had like a little cloth, like that was gonna do anything. It just went all over. Kids are coming up the altar call, slipping. Yes, God. You thought they were getting touched. It was watermelon juice. They're walking in their house, just remnants on their shoes.
What happened?
They hear them down the hallway.
Oh, because it gets sticky too.
Yeah, it does.
Actually,
Actually, it dries. I know. We
yeah.
had
that
to
was
clean
probably
it
a
up.
mess to clean
We
up.
cleaned it up that night, yeah.
Although that floor was concrete at the time.
It
wasn't
was.
Okay, clutch.
It was like epoxy
It
floor.
would suck if it was
But we
Yeah.
were cleaning it up.
carpet.
But you could hear the kids walking away.
Man.
I'm glad I got the
The
full
blood of
context
a
of that
martyr
story.
on their shoes.
I've been out of all this time, I'm surprised I haven't heard it. Yes,
The brains.
Lauren, we were talking about the watermelon. Were you in that one?
She was in there.
She was probably a
She
student,
was
right?
there. No, she wasn't a student. She was there. You were there? Yeah.
Eli was in.
That was a good service.
It sounds
Bringing
like
me
it.
back.
I wish I was there.
Bringing me back.
This is from Tanner. Tanner said, I love giving my youth group students nicknames. The names aren't based on their personality, but usually are a short version of their real name. One night, a student of ours brought their 11-year-old sister to hang out at youth group, and her name is Ailish. I saw her as I walked into the youth room and quickly thought of a nickname for her. I thought it would be funny to switch the ish part of her name with whole, since the root word ish means only a bit of something. I could change it to whole, and that would be her nickname. But before I thought it through, I said out loud in front of the entire youth group, "What's up, a-hole?"
No. There's no way that this story isn't adding up. Do we have a name for this
Come
person again?
on.
Tanner.
Tanner. There's no way that you went through that whole process and like he's giving us a backstory. Oh well, the root word for is
I don't know if he meant root word. But you know when someone's like, "Oh, I'm tickle-ish," it's because you're not wholly ticklish. So he's like, "Oh, I'll switch it with whole." WHOLE.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying it.
I think
Cam.
he knew what he was
maybe
doing.
that was our first made
He was
up
like,
story.
"What up, a-hole?" And then she cried, and he was like, "No, because ish and
And then just kept digging.
We knew what you were doing. Knew what you were doing.
Also,
I'll make
very
this
unique name. I don't
11-year-old.
think I've ever heard that name before.
Ailish, yeah.
But they spelled it with
I had
it was
a girl
like
I went-
EILISH.
Yeah, I had a girl went to school with her name was Ailish.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't go to school with any girls, so.
Sam
What up,
didn't go to
a-hole?
school
I also-
at all.
No, so, someone asked me if I went to college. On the last live, I told them I am officially a college dropout, believe it or not, guys.
Really?
Did you know that?
Savage.
No.
College dropout.
Remnant Bible College, dropped out.
Drop out.
Year and a half in.
He's a college dropout.
So, Eli is too? Oh, I forgot about that.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow, our family.
Family of dropouts.
So, what did Ben ever go to Bible school?
Homeschool dropouts.
Sarah didn't even finish high school. I probably shouldn't say that. Okay.
Speaking
of college,
Sam's on the couch tonight. Sam's on the couch
Not
tonight.
Sierra. Sarah, my sister.
Sarah.
Oh,
Not
Sam's
Sierra.
dying tonight.
No, so
I was gonna say that. I'm like, bro, there's no way. You know what's crazy? I'm at school one day. I was like, not saved, but like I came around church enough to know, like who the clientele were. But I didn't. But I didn't come like every week. It was back when like Grace was like.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I see this face. Like they gave us yearbooks at school, and they're like, "We're gonna." I don't know what the heck we were doing. Sammy, you were in my class. What were we doing? We were drawing something, and oh no, we were designing our yearbook, and they gave us old yearbooks to use as reference. And I was flipping through Corning's yearbook, and I'm like, I know that girl, and it was Sierra.
Oh.
Mhm. And I like took a photo of it, and I still have it. It's kind of weird. Like every once in a while, you know how Apple like shows you your old photos. Like every once in a while, just
No.
Sierra's.
is it like your favorites or something? Like what does it keep
like,
popping
you know
up?
how Apple will be like this day so many years ago,
This
or like it'll
happened.
make a
It'll be Sierra.
montage. It'll be like you'll like drive into Breezeport, and it will be like, look at 16 things that happened in Breezeport 10 years ago, and just like randomly. I have a lot of random memories show up there. I won't. You're right.
No, you won't.
I remember. I put a dog filter on it too. Like, do you know the Snapchat dog filter?
Yes.
Yeah, I put it on there.
So that's what that keeps popping up. Nice.
Just Snapchat dog filter. Yeah, no.
Just finding out for the first
I remember I think I showed Pastor Cody, and I was like, you know this girl, right? It's like, you know what your parents say. Once it's on the internet.
Not coming off.
It's not coming off.
Never
My parents
coming
did
out.
always say that. Now look at me. Literally
Wow.
on the internet daily.
Dang.
There is
The
no
irony.
removing me from the internet.
The irony.
My parents tried to make sure I was on the internet for a long time, and now I'm like, look at me.
They kept him off.
I'm teaching them a
He
lesson.
went from Gmail communication. Not even Gmail.
Not even that. It was Google Plus.
Google Plus
Mm.
communication.
Google Plus. No, but going back to the college thing, literally half my family is college dropouts. So not doing too good. We're not really doing good for the homeschool community, guys. I'm sorry. Not
Wow.
representing well. This is an anonymous story. We have quite a few
gosh.
anonymous ones
We
tonight.
know about those anonymous
Yeah, we do.
stories.
Our youth group took a foreign mission trip, but instead of getting a hotel or some other housing, the youth leader decided that we were going to go camping.
Mm.
As we were in the airport
Perfect.
checking our bags,
Why?
my friend
Yeah.
leaned over to tell me that he had packed fireworks,
Mm.
which he had
Foreign
he had bought them from a shady
Damn it.
man who makes them in his garage. Me,
This isn't true. I'm sorry.
I being
You're
his
anonymous,
friend,
you're
started
making this
panicking,
up.
but said nothing to our youth leader. Somehow the fireworks weren't noticed and passed through the border with us.
No.
Totally.
That's
totally
what I was.
making sense
No.
right about now.
2 days into the trip, my friend took the fireworks out and proceeded to pull down his pants and underwear. At this stage, everyone heard the commotion and came out of their tents to see my friend laying face down on the ground, wedging a firework in his butt.
No.
After lighting it,
He's like, I want to get on Youth Group Chronicles.
I have seen this occur.
No.
I have seen this.
I
occur
have
too.
seen this occur.
I have.
I can't lie about this portion.
After lighting it, the kid must not have realized how hot it was because he started to scream as it went off. Unfortunately, though, the firework went off sideways and shot into our youth leader's tent and sent it up in flames.
I don't know.
Do we vote?
I
think
think
this
I
might
say
be
you're
fake.
Fake.
Do we vote?
Fake.
Because as I was reading that one, I was like, man, if any of them could be, this is not permission to do that.
There's a lot
permission.
of like things that occurred here
When did
that
this
are like
happen?
once
Back
in a
in, like, the
lifetime.
They said this
70s?
was a lot of years. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So your friend shooting a perfect round into the tent and it blowing and it catching fire. That
I would
right
imagine
there
so
is
he
already-
did it. This is what I'm thinking. All the tents are in this campsite. And no matter what direction it shoots off, if it's sideways, it's going to hit a tent because he wanted the attention out in front of everybody. That would be my guess. However, unless this was a long time ago, I don't think you can sneak fireworks onto a plane.
No.
Even in a checked bag, right? They go through that.
Yeah, you're not bringing fireworks on. a
Probably
plane.
not fireworks. I mean, if you have
Before
a check,
9/11, do you think? Oh, okay, Joe.
right.
Right. So unless it was way before 9/11.
So
I'll have
what
to
you're
check back
telling
to
me
see.
is you have a 45-year-old viewer who submitted a story
We
about
actually have a
something
lot
that
of
happened
older
to Youth
viewers.
Group in 1989.
they don't have to be
They're-
45.
Actually,
not
dude.
45.
I am
There's
not
no one in
45,
the room 45.
But I do remember the airport before.
What was it like? Because I don't remember.
I'm
You
just
could
saying.
literally,
I don't know
literally,
either.
you
Because
can
I
walk-
was 4 years
you
old when
can
they changed up
write-
those rules.
you could walk right up to
was
the
one.
gate with your family and hug them goodbye, and they walk and get on the plane, and then
Wow.
you wave out the big window.
So
as
they
the
could have
plane's
snuck
driving away.
in a checked bag some small fireworks. You think that's
Yes.
possible?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So
see,
we
but-
don't know. Okay.
But then you're going
so
to
we
a foreign
already moved on.
country.
Hey, man, we're going to a foreign country. Let's camp. Said no
I
one
didn't
ever.
want to find it. Yeah.
Said no one ever.
No one wants to just go
Actually-
camp somewhere.
Okay, true. But church is on a budget.
What?
Trying to save money, not paying for 30 kids in a hotel. I actually don't. What was it? I know it was somewhere south of here. I took the country out. I'll have to look back because now I'm thinking. But
I don't know.
yes. So actually, think about this.
Name
Would
yourself.
someone? Let's say that.
Why be
someone-
anonymous?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just go ahead.
If someone wanted
No
clout,
shame in
if
it.
someone wanted clout,
just say
why
it.
would they send an anonymous story?
Somebody's like laughing, like they're gonna hear this
You're
story.
like,
Probably
Yo,
right.
people
Got 'em.
fireworks, but shooting.
Okay, I
gonna
do
laugh.
believe,
On fire.
I 100% believe the butt part.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I've seen
yeah, I've
that.
seen videos of it.
But the accuracy though, like no, bump the
That it
accuracy.
just
bump the
happened to
accuracy.
see.
It just happens to also
happens-
light the tent on fire.
And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, no, I don't know."
Listen,
True.
all I got to say is
Okay, if
we
we're gonna
didn't
pick
say-
one, that's our vote.
If we didn't say
Yeah.
it is fake, then all the comments would be this is fake.
Yeah, what do you guys
It's
actually
true.
think? I'm curious to know what you guys think.
Yeah, fake.
On Instagram Live, we got a bunch of people on here.
But you know, sometimes we
Fake or real?
Fake.
He had aim assist. Okay, I'll keep an eye on it and see what you guys think. We'll go to another story though. This is from Preston. Preston said, after a youth group Fear Factor night,
Oh,
our
God.
church actually got in trouble with the parents to the point where one of our assistant pastors had to
So we threw
go
coyote
publicly
maggots on 'em.
on local TV to apologize.
Local TV's wild.
Oh gosh.
Dang.
Wow.
Channel 4 News.
The game that got our youth ministry in trouble involved a rather large, hairy, middle-aged youth leader to come sit on the stage. He then had to take off his shirt,
No.
sit in a chair,
Come
and
on.
apply peanut butter to his armpits.
What?
This sounds like the average day at a modern library now.
Students,
We're having a book club. No, like if you turn on the news right now, this happens every week. They're like, we just want to expose the kids to just think outside the lines. Society's trying to confine us. It's a 40-year-old dude with no shirt on teaching a health class.
with peanut butter under his armpits.
It's okay,
And he's like,
guys.
we don't use deodorant. We're all natural.
Use peanut,
Peanut butter.
Students were called up to, quote, face their fears and
No.
lick the peanut
Come
butter
on.
out of his armpit.
What?
Face them.
You should be in jail.
That's a Skippy. That should be a Skippy
I'm
flavor.
sorry.
That should be a peanut butter flavor.
Fired.
Oh, armpit flavored peanut
Armpit
butter?
hair.
Oh.
It's like how there's the chunky
and
one.
I'm sorry. What adult hairy male
He's
is like,
yeah, come here,
lick my
kid.
pits."
No, it's the.
No, okay, this explains the
whoa,
public.
Whoa!
This explains the public.
Look at that side.
Yeah, come on.
What dude likes this?
What dude's like, yeah.
30-year-old youth
Come
leader.
on, come lick my pits. Like,
Yeah.
And this
Fix
is
your fears,
100%
kids.
explains the public news station apology.
No.
Makes a lot of
fears,
sense.
kids.
No, you're done. You're done. You're fired.
The youth pastor's sitting there like,
They no longer have a youth
he's
group.
telling them, Terry, listen, take it for the team. I know this is uncomfortable for you, but this is the Lord's work.
And they're like, no, man, that sounds cool.
He's like, I've been hoping. I was waiting for the day
I was
you'd
waiting
ask
for
me
the
for
day
our entire youth
someone
group to
would be-
lick my armpits.
Get them children in there. Oh,
yeah,
come
youth group out of
on.
context is absolutely insane. Yes, you're right. Major side eye. Yep.
Nah, that boy's on a registry somewhere.
Yeah.
That's all I got
He's
to
on
say.
the-
He's
on
on
the
a
list.
registry somewhere.
He's on the list.
Oh, someone said it's official. Peanut butter doesn't make everything better.
True.
I feel like if it was like a 17-year-old kid or like,
Not an adult.
No.
With
not a
kids coming up,
middle-aged
licking
man,
their
with
armpit.
hairy man.
That makes it much worse, yes. But I don't. Why are we looking at
Hello,
anybody's
police. Yep.
I don't know.
That's gross.
Oh,
I feel like youth pastors are just coming up with like better exit strategies.
That's
how
a
do
good
I
one.
get out of here?
They're like, dang, I'm not just leaving, I'm burning it down.
I'm burning
Get him,
every
bring him out.
bridge.
Face your fears tonight.
My bags are packed.
This is from Landon. Landon said, one of our youth leaders was using the story of Rahab in her message.
Mm.
During her message, she told us that Rahab was a prostitute, and without thinking of the words coming out of her mouth, she told everyone in the room, quote, and Rahab was really good at her job.
I mean, hey,
Do we know?
the Bible doesn't say.
Guys, it's a gray area.
The Bible
It
doesn't
is.
say.
Gray
It's a
area.
gray area.
It's gray.
She could have been the best. We don't know. We just know she was. I
Best in the biz.
Best in the
don't
biz.
know what translation they're reading. Mine
It
doesn't
was
include
the
that.
message version, right? Went a little bit
Yes.
more into detail.
Amplified.
Amplified.
Passion. Passion.
She
It
was
definitely
that sounds like
passion.
this is the 2024 Passion Translation, Old Testament edition.
And she was very good
And
at
she
her
was the
job.
best prostitute
The
Best in,
in
town.
the town. God even picked the best prostitute. And from her came the lineage that led to Christ.
This is from Craig. Craig said, while driving our youth group in an old 15-passenger church van, the muffler developed a hole in it, which started leaking exhaust fumes into the vehicle. I figured since we were less than an hour away from home, we could use 2 windows in the rear of the van and the 2 windows in the front to, quote, air it out and continue driving. The students obeyed and opened the 2 rear windows.
They obeyed. Students obeyed me. The students obeyed.
The students
I'm already
listened.
know what kind of youth group this is. My students obeyed.
They must have just got done licking peanut butter.
Peanut butter. It was the same youth pastor. My students obeyed me. I told them, we're going to keep pushing forward.
More peanut butter.
They obeyed
Well,
me.
we're going to play the
Give me
peanut
your
butter game
armpits.
again. The students listened and opened the 2 rear windows in the van, which happened to be the windows right above the exhaust pipe. This created a draft which had significant consequences that I didn't foresee. Instead of pushing the exhaust leak out of the van,
Sucked it.
the draft sucked the fumes right into the van from the tailpipe and muffler, swirling carbon monoxide for all of us to ingest on this car
Oh my
ride.
gosh.
Just.
We all even joked about the fumes, not realizing that we were literally getting poisoned.
Oh my gosh.
We eventually made it back home with no issue, or so I thought. A brother and sister who were in the van told their father, who was in the fire department, and he became a little concerned about what happened. So he drove them to the fire department, hooked them up to a monitor, and confirmed that they had carbon monoxide poisoning. By this time, the news had started to spread to some of the other parents, and we literally had people threatening to sue the church for child endangerment.
Bro, this is a list of people. They've got to be small churches. And it's just got to be a nice person that starts out, I'll be the youth pastor.
Yep.
Because
Volunteering, probably.
Well, they're not churches
How?
anymore.
They're not churches and they're not
Yeah,
youth groups
They're
anymore.
not even. That's why we
Sued
don't.
to
That's why they're
oblivion.
all anonymous. There's a clash action lawsuit out about this very story.
Oh my god.
And they weren't supposed to speak on it for 30 years.
Said I just got out yesterday.
What are the
I got a
odds,
story.
though? It is always like that, though, as a youth pastor. I feel like it's just like that.
Oh, just
It's
roll
like
down the
day
windows. We're
we
gonna be
get
okay.
carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yep.
It just happens to be the fire chief's daughter. And he just happens to take her down
Oh my god.
and take a carbon monoxide test. And he can't keep his mouth shut. Tells everybody.
It's the freaking Kool-Aid.
Come on, man.
Yeah, the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that. That's tragic.
It was an old van. They did clarify it was a very, very old van.
That's tragic.
Get in the hoopty. We're going on a trip.
They actually said it was so old it had the carpet on the sides of the wall.
Shag carpet?
The shag carpet.
Hoopty.
Yeah.
The people, they took this and they were like, this is why we put catalytic converters on cars now. This is why we need electric cars.
They were the case study.
They were it.
This is from James. We have a couple more stories here. James said, at youth camp, there was a paintball field, and I was the only one besides the camp director that had a key to the shed that housed all the paintball guns. During one of the paintball games that week, there was a camper who simply would not listen to the rules. Him and his friends kept breaking these rules to the point where their youth pastor got involved. During dinner, their youth pastor approached me with a proposition to teach them a lesson. The thing is, during the off-season, we would have tournaments at this camp for the public, so we had some very expensive gear stashed away in the back of the shed. Fast forward to 1 a.m., me and 5 other youth leaders suited up in full raid gear with night vision goggles and paintball guns.
Hold on. I've played a lot of paintball. That's not paintball activity.
I actually looked it up. I did look it up before this.
That's like ex-Navy SEAL activity.
Pretty much.
Do you know how much a night vision goggles are?
I looked up. They start at $500. Yeah. I feel like there's probably some cheap stuff. Hey, because I was wondering. I was like, how much?
Dude, I've never seen a pair of night vision but goggles that are like.
I don't think they were goggles. I bet they go under.
Was it just like a scope or something?
Yep.
I'm scared.
Well,
they take their paintball serious to the point. They do.
Well, he said it was like the stash for the tournaments that they do at the camp.
That'd be sick.
But he had access to him, so to teach him a lesson. The youth pastor drove us in his van up to this cabin and had us go in guns blazing, shooting everything in the room. We failed to realize that we had the wrong cabin.
No.
It was the women's Bible
So we
study.
performed a SEAL we performed a SEAL Team 6 raid on the wrong church with 30 middle school kids all sleeping in the cabin.
They were like, yeah, come to our camp. It's super calm, super nice. We have beautiful views. Got
it was
shot
the
up.
Proverbs 31 women.
They got shot up.
Women's retreat.
It's always the wrong cabin.
This was planned. It was
They
a
just
different
got done
denomination.
knitting.
Like the Catholics are here. Get them, Terry. Run in. Night vision goggles. We're going to teach them Baptists a lesson.
You speaking in tongues now, boy?
What are the Catholics that they believe in actually getting punished and hit? Like they
I've never actually
reenact.
heard that. Is that a thing?
Yeah, they reenact where it says
I cannot comment.
No, literally they take the
anything.
part where he talks about suffering for Christ,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
and they
take
legit
it
suffer for Christ.
Yeah.
I've never
No,
heard
it
that.
is.
I've never heard
It's
that.
a weird small sect of people, but it's out there.
That's interesting.
Yep.
The more you know.
The more you
The more you know.
The more you know.
If you ever want to consider that as your next church,
just go shoot up a,
All right, one more story. This is from Ariana. At our youth group, we had a high school winter retreat that was not really spoken of. It was kind of like a wait and see until you're old enough to go sort of thing. On one night of the retreat, for the main service, in order to really illustrate the idea of, quote, dying to self, they would break out a full-size wooden coffin. As the atmosphere became more emotional during worship, we would all go one by one to lay in the coffin. The pastor would then close the lid on us and bang the top of it as hard as he could to really drive home the point.
This is creative.
You watched The Office, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember the episode where he's like,
every episode yet.
he tells Ryan, right? Ryan, get in the coffin. Get in the coffin. That's all I can picture is just shuffling kids in and out of the coffin, bang on the top. All right, next.
That is
in the coffin's wild.
In the coffin is crazy.
Wild.
I can understand like a prop on the stage.
Like right now,
Yeah,
I just looked at the team the other day and I was like, what if we got a real coffin?
well,
and
you
put
need
kids
to
in it?
because we
No, I
tried.
don't know about putting kids in it.
Because I can
That's crazy.
understand the coffin sermon illustration, put it to the side and talk about the message.
Or a tombstone.
Yeah.
Something.
But to make the
But
kids
not
crawl
them
in,
Get in it.
Get in.
banging
Slam
on
it
it.
down.
Like you're going to hear it being slammed. Like you're going to be
Yeah, you're
alive.
gonna be alive.
Imagine it getting jammed.
Are you lonely
Close
yet?
up.
scary.
I want to know
isn't it?
how long they left him in there.
Shaking it.
That would be
turning all the
my
lights
question.
off and
It's
going
not as bad
silent.
as seeing sacrifice goats outside.
That one was worse.
That's insane.
We just posted that one today, actually.
That's
Yeah, that
insane.
was
I don't
good.
know.
Yeah.
I
think
just
it's-
remember it.
I don't know how.
I'll take
Yeah.
this youth
There's-
pastor over the one that sacrificed live goats.
There's been a couple goat stories.
Must have been friends with a coyote guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of animal
Him and
stories
the
to make on the show. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Youth Group Chronicles. Mindy and Pastor Cole, thank you guys. We appreciate you being here. Guys, everyone on Instagram Live, thank you too. Love having you guys hanging out with us in the studio. If this is your first time listening, you can find us on Instagram, YG Chronicles, as well as TikTok. We have a YouTube channel where we're posting full video episodes of the show, so go check us out there. But guys, thank you so much again, and we will see you next week.